Okay, everyone, let's gather together and talk some springtime fishing. Want to? Maybe a few things like that. If you'd like to come along, we'll talk fishing and a little bit of turkey hunting and a lot of deer hunting and O'Neill's valued advice. So if you join us and you would like to, well, I will tell you this. We have a lot of things to talk about. I am going to give away to someone who's on the air with us in 30 minutes. I'll give away a saw, a Works Axis saw. See? I have one here. Battery-powered Works tool saw. I'm going to give one away, but you have to be online about the time and we pick somebody at random. So. Welcome to the program, everyone. This is O'Neill. I appreciate the likes that you're sending in. I do appreciate that. And let's talk fishing.
And
if you
share.
have some...
Please share.
Oh.
Yeah, share it. Share it.
Gail is counseling, and please share. What do you just...
Share it.
Share
Yeah,
it.
share
it. Share it around. And I don't know what benefit that is, but I like... What's these little blue signs? Like signs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I like those two. It makes me feel better. If you have comments, criticism, subject you'd like to discuss, questions, whatever the case might be, by all means, join us. It's Monday. It's after 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so it's time for O'Neill to start chatting about a few things. And I have lots. I have the most unusual fishing tip. The most unusual recommendation, one that you've never heard before, but I guarantee you, if you're a spotted bass, striped, whatever kind of fisherman you are, this will make you a better fisherman, but you have to take the dedication. You have to do it. Follow my recommendations, please. Okay, so here we are. Have you got a favorite lake that you're fishing, a favorite reservoir, a southern reservoir, a flatland lake, a mountain lake, up in the Carolinas, Virginia, flatland lakes in Texas, whatever the case might be. With these big reservoirs, I'm not talking about a pond. No, not talking about a pond. I'm talking about a lake. So I hear John from the Catskills is there. I wish I had John's email address because I want to look at some of his photos. Send me some photos, will you, John? I'm sure they'd be great. I have some, but I want more.
Tell him to send them to...
Send them to...
The website?
The website, that's good. I'm sure I've already got some, but I want more.
Houston@o'neilloutside.com.
Houston@o'neilloutside.com.
Right.
Okay. All right, here's my recommendation. I'm getting off track. Ready? Ready. You're going to think this is strange. But do the following. The next time you go to the major reservoir, set aside a certain number of hours. And I say that because I need your commitment. You need to make a commitment to yourself to do this for a certain period of time, not 20 minutes. I'm telling you this because to me, fishing isn't necessarily satisfaction based on success by catching fish. Success is not necessarily catching fish. So do this next time. Go to a portion of the lake, a creek, a big cove, whatever a portion of the river, whatever, where if you've never fished before, never ever, go there and figure it out. You got a little section of a creek with some side creeks coming in, 3 or 4 secondary points in there. How many limits of largemouth or spots or whatever are probably there? Catfish, crappie, brim, how many are probably there? Hundreds. But you've never gone there before. I would tell you that if you're like the rest of us, I see so much you can't commit to anything. And you know, like the rest of us, you always go back, you go to the same places. Discover something new. But set aside, all right, I'm going to do this on Saturday morning. We're starting at 6:30, and I'm going to do this until noon. I'm not going to fish anywhere I've already fished before. Figure it out. And I will guarantee you, and I'm going to give you an example, I guarantee you there are places on the lake, many, dozens, hundreds of places on the reservoir that you've never fished before that are got plenty of fish on them. Here's an illustration. Many, many years ago, when I was a lot more active, I fished Lake Lanier and various lakes, and there was a major BASS tournament, or I think it was BASS, it doesn't matter, a major tournament at Lake Lanier. And Lake Lanier is a mountain lake. It's no different than the Carolina lakes, the Virginia lakes, the East Tennessee lakes, and so on. Clear water, deep water. Okay. And I went there during practice, and I watched these professionals. And I discovered, I'd be on the lake. I got my glasses. I didn't go close. Didn't want to disturb them. But I would see a guy sitting on a point, way out off the end of a point, a tournament veteran, a tournament participant, and he'd be way out on the end of the point jigging or fishing deep with plastics at a place that I'd never been before. And I was, how did he find that? How did he do that? And then I marked on a map the 20 or 30 places that I saw these professionals fish, where I had never been before, where I had never put a bait down. Marked them on a map, and after the tournament was over, and it didn't matter who won or anything like that, I went to those places. My goodness, I doubled, tripled, quadrupled my targets that I could go to dependably and expect to get bit. What a great illustration. I made that lake become 4 or 5 lakes that available to me, places to go fish, places to catch fish, places where I would have confidence. I know there's some here because I saw so-and-so fish it and I investigated it later. Boom. Okay. Enough of that tip. Now, general tips. Ready? And if you have something you want to talk about, by all means, send us a note. Gail's here, of course. Couldn't do it without her. And that's right. And I'd love to hear what you have to say.
You've never fished Lake Shelbyville in Illinois, have you?
I have not.
I told him that
No.
you had not, actually.
In Illinois. No, I'm not. I bet it's a flat lake in Illinois. But I fished Erie and all those lakes of those smallmouth and those lakes. Okay. What was I talking about?
This is interesting because
okay.
We were talking about this over the weekend with a friend. Great idea. Fish a new spot in your favorite lake. And you and Shannon were talking about
I just got through
weekend.
doing all that.
Well, I wasn't. Okay.
That's okay.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
I was working.
I know it.
Okay.
It. Oh, and I'm just saying I did that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well,
I'm not throwing rocks at you.
You better not. I can throw.
Yeah,
this
fish a new and okay. Let's go to general tips. Things that you may not think of, but things I want you to keep in mind that I have learned from from professional fishermen, really good fishermen. If you're using light line, and I'm still a mono guy, if you're using light line, you retie after every fish that you catch, or every time you're hung up, or every time the line wraps around something or rubs up against a bridge piling, retie. You say, well, I can feel the knot and feel the line. I can tell there's nothing wrong. No, you can't. Retie. You can retie in 8 seconds. That may be the difference in a tournament win. It may be the difference in the biggest bass you've ever caught. always retie. Every time you go fishing now, also, because you don't remember what happened line-wise the last 30 minutes of the last trip. Did you throw into the rocks? Did you wrap around a limb? Did you brush up against a bridge? What did you do the last half an hour of the time you fished before? You don't remember. So, cut off 1 rod length of line and retie, and there you go. I have been with fishermen before that I drew in tournaments that would break off, barely break off, just set the hook and break off. It's because the knot wasn't good, or the line was already flat or stretched. Okay, retie. How's your line? It's good. I retied. There you are. Okay. One of the things that will save you fish in angling is to have your reels lubed so that your drag works smoothly. So, lube your reels. Be regular with that. Okay, somebody said something about retying. It's a good idea. I learned that. Anything going on?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
see. Well, Charlotte and the Princess have said that the lighting is much better, or the angle of the camera, which we have difficulty with that.
Well, I'm 77 years old. I'm not going to look good on camera.
Well, I know, but it's difficult down here without a professional.
Yeah, well, I'm a professional.
Not at lighting.
Not at this.
Okay.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know about the picture of me in the background.
That's Gail Williams at 21 years old. That's the first automobile we ever owned. It was a 1965 Catalina, 2-door hardtop.
It was gorgeous.
Oh, it was beautiful. So anyway, I'm no great photographer, but take a look at that. That's almost professionally done. The black and white blouse, the proper light. Well, anyway, it's a good one. And that's my favorite photo, and I had it blown up and put on canvas.
Okay, zebra mussels in Austin are causing tournament anglers
Okay.
to lose fish.
Mm-hmm.
I always believe in the retie. Okay.
Oh, good.
Wonder if white bass are biting. Does anyone fish for them anymore and never hear about them?
Okay. Well, white bass, I make everything in reference to Georgia lakes because that's where I fished all my life. April is white bass up the river. That's when they're up the river. And when the dogwoods are, if you're a white bass fisherman and the dogwoods are blooming, then you need to be fishing because that's when it happens. Generally, the spawn is over, with the exception of brim and shellcracker. But, you can catch those anyway. Be sure and use some night crawlers. Shellcracker, you love night crawlers. Or crickets. Oh, man, crickets.
Okay.
You got something to say? I have to drink water.
Okay. If I don't use a rod for a long time, how long until I need to put on new line?
That's hard to say. How long does it take before you need to re-spool your reels?
And
Okay.
what's the best way to clean your reel?
Okay. The best way to clean your reels is if you've been in salt water. The best way to clean the reel is not spray it. The best is just fill a bucket of fresh water and sit the reel in it for a little while, and it will dissolve the salts that's in the gears and everything, and it'll float away or be diluted. If you spray it, if you take your reel because you've been in salt water and you high spray it, you're just driving all that into the guts of the reel. The reels need to work. We've got terrific. Don't we have terrific gear? Oh man, fabulous gear. Rods, reels. Like for instance, now the guides are such that they don't ever scar your line. You ever thought about that? That's why years ago I used to tell everybody, that I learned from somebody else. I didn't invent it. Run some cotton balls through the guides on your, especially your spinning reels, because you're using lighter line. And those cotton balls, if there are any cracks in the metal, burrs in the metal, or cracks in the glass, it'll catch on those cotton balls. There's a whole routine that Jerry Seinfeld does about cotton balls, and he's just not a fisherman. Okay, yes?
Okay. Tell everyone about the barb on the hook and why it is on there. He said it's a great story. You know
Okay, the barb on the hook is made to keep live bait on. That's why the barb was placed on a hook. It's to keep live bait on. It's not there to keep the fish on that you hooked. Okay? And I can tell you that, pardon me? Okay. I can tell you it's my belief, because I haven't been in several years, but many years I went to Canada to a place called Carroll Lake, which is almost up to the Hudson Bay. And up there you have to use barbless hooks. And I can tell you it's my belief that I've never lost a single fish because they didn't have a barb on the hook. The barb is to hold live bait on the hook. That's why it's originally put there. That's why an awful lot of saltwater hooks, like the tuna circle and so forth, won't have a barb. And many places in which I get to go that I know I'm going to be putting the fish back, all of them, like this week I'm going to go trout fishing. So that's a barbless area. So if I use my hooks, I'll flatten the barbs so you can take them off and put them back right away. It's my belief that when you lose a fish, it's not because you hooked him and he got off. He never was hooked. He was just barely, had the hook in his mouth, but he was not hooked. Because if he's hooked and you have a barb, or if he's hooked and you keep the pressure on him, he's not getting off. You blame something else instead of yourself. Yes.
Are you ready for another one?
Yes.
Okay. What are your 3 or 4 mainstay largemouth baits that should be in everyone's tackle box?
Well, the number one most versatile bass fishing lure category is the plastic worm. You can fish it deep, shallow, dark, light, large, small. It's the most versatile lure that you can use of all. The best big bass bait to me is a spinnerbait. And it doesn't matter what color it is as long as it's chartreuse. But here's a tip about spinnerbaits. I need to see some of those blue things. It'll make me feel better. Can I see some of those blue things? I like to see those. It makes me think somebody's out there. Okay. Where was I? Oh, there's some of those blue things. Blue thumbs, is that what that is?
Yeah, thumbs up.
Okay, thumbs up.
Likes,
all right.
Likes.
I like that. I like likes. All right, where was I? What was I talking about?
I
don't know.
Wait a minute, let me go back to the question. What was the question? The 2 or 3.
The 2 or 3. Oh, okay. Number one's a plastic worm because it's so versatile and you can fish it fast and slow, and I did all that. Number 2, the best is a spinnerbait for big bass. And here's your clue on the spinnerbait. Ready? 2 tips about spinnerbaits. Number 1, it's a given that you use a trailer hook. You use a trailer hook. Okay. If you're not fishing in brush, say you're fishing on a bedding flat or something like that, and you're just covering territory, okay? You're not running it through brush. Turn the trailer hook down. Up. I can't do it like that. Here's one up, front hook, back hook, down. You'll catch more. I fished a tournament one time 30-some years ago, and I had fish located on a big bedding flat. And I drew a partner who was boatless, And he came, he was local, and he's, have you got some fish located? I said, yeah, I believe I do. And he said, have you tried so-and-so and so-and-so place? I said, yep, that's it. He said, oh yeah, man, they're there. Okay, but he finished third. I think I've told you the story. He finished third in the tournament. I finished 11th. We were all close, because he caught more fish to cull from than I did. And the reason was he had his trailer hook down. My trailer hook was up. So he caught more than I did that day. I didn't mind. He was in my boat. But turn the trailer hook down. And when it really gets tough, you need one more fish. Put a big treble hook on as a trailer hook instead of one turned down. And as a matter of fact, you can put the treble hook on and cut the bottom hook off. So you got a double trailer either going down or up. Trailer hook. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I do have a question, but first let's go back to, we're going to give away a saw, one of those, at the end of the program. And now explain to people how we do this.
You explain it.
Okay, Karen Green is monitoring our program. She will be picking someone's comment at the end of the show. I will tell you when it's time, the time has cut off. I'll let you know.
Okay.
And then from that point on, she will pick somebody. We have no idea why she picks them, but she picks somebody for some reason to win a saw.
Okay.
And you need to be in touch with us by email and to Houston at o'neilloutside.com with your information. So you need to stay on until the end of the show, or go back and watch the rerun, because it will be.
Because we tell everybody who won.
We tell everybody who won, but if they're not watching, they might want to go back and look again, because they might have won.
All right.
And if we don't hear from you in a couple of weeks, we're gonna give it to somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. This is look, I'll show you how this works. See here.
That looks like something Arnold Schwarzenegger would use with a Terminator.
See here, you can use it like this and cut. Turn the blade down, cut down. Or you can use it like this and this jigsaw. Like that.
Woo.
Isn't that great?
Okay.
Cost about $100.
In your opinion,
my phone.
Why aren't pro tournaments held on West Point Lake?
In my opinion, they have been in the past. Why aren't big time tournaments held on West Point Lake? I think it's the lack of accommodations. It's not a big enough place for an event to take place. It needs to be a big place. It needs to be with excellent accommodations. This sport fishing from high school, college, and professional is a really big deal, and I'm just guessing about that. Okay, there may be tournaments there that I don't know about because I don't follow the tournament trail anymore at all. So okay, yeah, it's a jigsaw and a reciprocating saw. Okay, well, line, lube, summer. All right, it's deer season. Oh no, it's not. It's time for you to get ready for deer season. You need to put in your food plots now, and you need to put attractants after you get it planted and it starts to pop up, which doesn't take long. Whatever it is you're planting, I always use whitetail properties. Properties. Whitetail seeds, quality stuff, okay? But when it starts to pop up, you need to get the deer headed that way. And there are attractants, like from Timbuktu Outdoors, it's one of my sponsors, I'm sorry, but it works, that you can spread around in the food plot, and it's molasses based and draws the deer, and they make a habit of it. Deer's a pretty lazy critter. All he does, if it's a buck, except for the 2 weeks of the rut, all he does every year is sleep and eat and hang out and stay alive, which he does a pretty good job, except when he gets run over by a truck. Okay. Boy, I'm running out of air. What time is it?
Don't know.
6:54. Okay, but it's time for you to clear the lanes. It's time for you to make sure that everything's fertilized. It's time to put the food plot in. It's time to get ready for deer season now. And then make sure when you get ready, at your deer club, you're getting the lease ready, make sure that your son or grandson or another little kid in the neighborhood whose dad is not a hunter, they get to go with you. It becomes their club. It becomes their food plot. It becomes their hunt, okay? And then when the season begins, and on Mondays, when they go back to school, they have something to hang their hat on. I went deer hunting this week, and I saw 3 bucks that were not large enough for me to shoot, but I saw 3 bucks in my hunt club, in my food plot that my dad and I planted. It's ownership, and it's valuable. Everybody can't be the high school quarterback. Everybody can't be the middle linebacker or the center on the football team. But if he's a hunter, he's a fisherman, and you've seen to it that he understands and knows that, he's got something to hang his hat on that he can be proud of. I know I've told you this before. Travis could have played football in high school, but he didn't, because fall afternoon is when you go deer hunting, not practice football. So, okay. Anything else right now?
Time for salt licks and minerals.
Listen, I don't know whether it's time for that or not. I know it's time for you to start thinking about it. And if you have the time and inclination and money to go put in the salt licks and so forth, whatever's legal for you to go ahead and proceed in doing is just fine. And if people throw rocks at you because you're hunting over corn, or just so it's legal, okay? It needs to be legal, because there are a lot of deer, even though some of the populations are down, like the wild turkey's population is down, but that's okay. I tell you what, as I've mentioned so many times before, if you're going to go hunting with your son or grandson, the best thing to do is to go for squirrels. You get 35, 40 shots. How many shots do you get when you go deer hunting? But nevertheless, if you make it the food plot, if you make it their club, if you make it what they do, if you make it the salt lick that they put in, then they have ownership. They have possession. They have, it's singular for them. Is it time?
It's time we're cutting off, at this point, we're cutting off the...
okay, we're about to choose?
Yeah, Karen will be choosing, and she'll be texting me just shortly.
So hang in there, and maybe you'll win the saw. This is... yes, ma'am.
Larry said his grandchildren are shooting BBs and bow and arrows after school every day.
There you are.
Fantastic.
I tell you what, the archery part of the hunting, that's a really big deal, because you can shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and practice and practice and practice, and it all is productive. It's non-consumptive. All you do is just go pick up your arrow and shoot it again. It's fabulous. So archery's a really big deal, and it's extremely popular. What was that movie? There was a movie about, it was a female movie about...
Deliverance.
No, that wasn't. Archery. It was some kind of an archery movie. Okay.
I have no idea.
An adventure, a female adventure movie, and they used a bow. Anyway, it became very popular after that. Became acceptable. I mean, people archery, you can do it in the gym, do it when it's cold, do it when it's dry, when it's wet, whatever the case might be. You can shoot your bow, okay, and become better at it over and over and over again. Yes.
And in response to Michael Mark's wife.
Okay.
She said she's a hunter.
Ah, good.
Yes. Yes. She said, what about us girls that like to hunt? Fantastic.
Absolutely. It's my judgment that women can be better hunters because they're more patient. Men, they got that testosterone percolating around in there, and they got to get through, and they got to make it fast, and women are patient. I can tell you that. Very patient.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. That's what it is. Okay, Bo. Hunger Games. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
There we are. So
right,
we'll let you know in just a couple of minutes who won the deal. I appreciate you joining me every on Mondays. It's enjoyable for me, and I can recommend to you and request that you take the time to watch O'Neill Outside Television. It's on various Fox Sports networks. It's on Carbon TV and Waypoint TV and, my goodness, Hunt TV and the Hunt Channel and the Smart TVs. It's overwhelming. And you can watch all of O'Neill Outside library of shows, should you want to do that, by visiting o'neilloutside.com. Click on television, and all the shows will be right there. And I appreciate you watching. Think about this. Now, it's kind of scary. Is this our 40th year?
Not really.
Since we first started that very first show, it's not been 40 years? Not when we were on cable with, how long has it been?
Probably be 38.
38 years. What difference does it make?
I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
I just got a text from Karen, and she says the winner for tonight is Ron Pendergrass.
Ron Pendergrass.
Ron Pendergrass.
Is the winner of the Works Axis Reciprocating Saw.
Right.
You won it, Ron. So what does Ron need to do?
He needs to contact Houston at o'neilloutside.com.
Okay.
And give her his information.
Houston at o'neilloutside.com. Give us your information and we'll send you the saw. We like to give away stuff. I have some very free-minded sponsors, and I call them and say, hey, we own, it's on live on Facebook. Why don't you give me something to give away? And they say, okay. So Ron is the winner. The radio show Saturday morning, WSB Radio, Saturday morning, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern Time, and I've been on there 28 years.
Yeah.
20. I can get away with that. 20.
Radio?
Yeah, radio. I'm in the 29th year, aren't I?
Yes.
29th year.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's Ron Pendergrass.
Oh,
is okay. Thank you. All right, you need to be in touch with us, Ron, and we'll send you the saw. Not this one. This is mine. We'll send you another one in a box. He's still watching. He wants more.
Yes, of course.
All right. The only thing to leave you with, I guess, today is, other than my traditional, if you're too busy to go fishing and take a child along, then you're too busy, I offer you the following. Ready? You don't know this, do you?
No.
It's nothing. What? Nothing needs reforming like other people's habits. Oh. I'm so smart. It's unbelievable.
We'll see you next week.
All right, bye.